Adolescence.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew.
We are under attack.
Pew pew pew.
Pew 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 pew. My plastic gun is stronger than your plastic gun. Surrender
Pew, pew.
and hand over the playground, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, this is Joe J and Movies So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm one Jin.
Today we're gonna start off with our review of Netflix's Adolescence. So I think somebody suggested it to us.
Yeah.
Subscriber, I can't remember the name, but thank you. And big shout out to ZZ Scott Walker, Voida Parrot, Eva Truve, Prickly Pear,
Soulless Trenchcoat, Uchan Hong.
Music, Russian ID, Jasmine, Kayla Marie, and all our 58 subscribers. Sorry for the start delay in the start. I was a little late. Here we go. Yo, Wonjin. I'm a grown ass man. I can't be crying. I can't be crying. And then this show, God, it was just 4 episodes of just too much reality.
Oh, what's up, Scott Walker? Hey, boys, how are you doing this week? I was hoping we could talk about Thomas and Friends. All right. Don't worry. We're going to have our Let's Talk session. We can talk about all that.
I think, Walker, we're going to do our Let's Talk in about an hour. Because we're going to do 2 reviews today. One is Netflix.
Adolescence.
And then American Primeval.
American Primeval.
So we can talk about all those.
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to get there.
I was really impressed with the one take method.
Yeah.
And you know why it was so impressive? Because it was so suffocating.
Yeah.
And then it just made me feel like I was in that person's shoe, yet I was so isolated. We have so many different characters. I mean, not so many different, but we have some major POV characters.
Yeah.
And we get to be in their shoes all basically. And I knew that I was going to regret watching this when the cop that does the register says, I hate these juvenile cases. I was like, okay. Okay, that was foreshadowing. There's just something very uncomfortable about seeing a child. Because he's 13, so he just became a teenager.
Yeah. Because remember, before 13 it's 12.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
teen and you're in that number.
And honestly, the first episode and the third episode, it's so hard to say which one was the best. But the first episode, honestly, until the last 10 minutes, I thought he might be innocent. Just because you don't want to believe it. He's a kid. He looks innocent, and his dad even asks him straight up, "Did you do it, son?" He says no, and then
That's the feeling I got in the first episode because I thought the show was really smart. Like you said, it puts the audience in their shoes, and I think it also depends on like how old you are while you're watching it. But you and I were both like old enough to actually become a parent.
Yes.
And I was in the father's shoes, and I was also kind of hoping that he would be innocent. There must be something more to the story.
Right. And there was, but we later learned that it's really all messy. But as soon as I saw, the cop shows the video, and then the father breaks down, and then when the son tries to touch him, he has that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Like, it reminded me a lot of, in Sopranos, remember, after Soprano gets caught cheating again, Camilla's like, "Don't touch me," like that. You just like you don't want to physically be associated with something like that. And then I went into second, and then you know what made me even more furious?
What is it?
The second episode, we go to the school, right?
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck! No! This is gonna be like Wire season 4. Don't show."
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking about The Wire.
Yeah, don't show me these kids. And then the heartbreaking scene of the cop's son telling him that he was bullied. I mean, not that justifies, I guess, what he have done, but if it was an adult, it's a straight case, straight murder. But he's 13, and then there. Because, another thing is, like, you mentioned us being old enough to be parents.
Be a parent,
right?
yeah.
But you know what? Another benefit we have? We've been at that age.
Exactly. we've been teenagers too, and
you know,
we remember how insecure everybody was.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all scared. We don't know the future. We just act tough. We don't know jack shit.
Yeah.
And I don't even blame the teachers because, I mean, this show did such a great job of, like, making me, you know, we just came out of watching Reacher, right?
Yeah.
That's very simple where, okay, piece of shit dead, end of story, problem solved, and then we can move on with life. But here, I mean, who is to blame, right?
Yeah.
Who do we point the finger at?
I mean, this is based, I mean, it's happening in Britain, but I think a lot of other countries could also, like, find themselves in a very similar situation where the teachers are not, the teachers are often understaffed. I mean, the school is understaffed, and the teachers are not equipped well enough to have control over kids.
No, but another angle is, Wonjin, when we were growing up, our teachers didn't need to worry about social media.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's a
true.
brand
We
new
did not have
problem.
social media.
Yeah. So I felt for the teachers too, because how do you deal with it? You can't take their phones away. That's not going to problem.
Yeah, and it even shows us like how the school's trying to control the kids by like taking the phones away during class and stuff. But obviously, the show does a very good job at showing us how like how distant and how detached the older generation is compared to the young kids. They don't know anything that's going on social media. And we also get like a scene where the detective inspector, what's his name, Bascombe, he had completely misinterpreted the message left by that girl Katie. Yeah, he thought Katie and Jamie could have been friends based on that like the comment, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
No, but I felt it because I know social media is a little bit, but I don't know, because if you remember our childhood, like how many parents and children do really have that heart-to-heart during teenage times? I mean, you know, so it was also, I also felt for the father, but him making an effort to understand his son and his son reciprocating that, that was like one of the few redeeming like moments.
You mean the detective?
Yeah, detective.
Detective inspector and his son Adam.
Yeah, because he's like,
was it Adam?
But
I don't know. But anyways, yeah.
But he's like, let's go get some fries.
Yeah. Are you hungry? Let's go get some fries.
And you know, like I felt that because I felt like that could be a lot of marriages too. You know, the person is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so hard to communicate.
Oh, Lee Chan-hong, what's up? Hope to spare, Loop. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
Chan-hong
true.
in the house. Yeah, I mean, and what really broke me was the fucking third episode, man. Fuck that episode.
Was that the scene where? Was that the episode where the
with the shrink, with the psychologist?
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I haven't cried in a long time, but watching that, and then that end when the shrink breaks down, you know. But I have a question, Wonjin. For me, I think different people will interpret that differently. For me, I saw the kid as a victim too. I didn't see him as evil, because I think some people might.
I agree. And funny enough, I had both of those feelings.
Yeah, okay.
I was hoping that I could be in that room so I could just beat some sense into him, beat the shit out of him, because I could instantly tell that he was already influenced by that toxic masculinity bullshit. And the only way you can basically correct that behavior is with another masculinity with superior force. But then the other side of me was also just like you. I was seeing him as a victim because he's 13. What does he know? And basically, his only source of learning how to be a man is either his dad and the internet. And both were not good enough for him. And basically, he's behaving as he learned through like the blueprints that had been given to him. And that was so tragic.
And you know, but the moment that really got me almost tear jerked was when he said something that really got to me. What he said was, "Remember, do you like me?"
Yes. He was looking for approval.
I was like, "Son, you gotta love yourself, man." Like, but remember, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when we were kids, we talked about popularity. I mean, of course they are like want that.
Yeah.
But like, and then like the psychologist's face, like, just trying to keep the professional face on, right? It reminded me of the Wire scene when the cop, he sends him to foster home, and the kid's like, "It's not your fault.
Yeah.
I know you tried."
Ah, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, and she breaks down, and I was like, God damn! Like, first of all, I'm never being a teacher in a public school, or I mean, even like in that level,
man.
And then the fourth one was like, when I turned on the fourth one, I was like, oh shit, what kind of torture is waiting for me? I don't want to. I can't watch them. And then, oh my god, lo and behold, I knew they were going to show the family, like the repercussion of it.
And it was the father's birthday. You know, like the moment it started off as his birthday, I knew that this day was going to go really, really bad.
And you know, another great thing was like, it's kind of like Crime and Punishment in the fact that the crime is always lingering. So you know what the show does? Every time somebody has a happy moment, I know it's gonna be broken.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you know something's about to happen. It cannot be this happy.
Yeah, and like the fourth episode was oh, and I gotta praise the actors. Like that's one take. I'm assuming really one take. Maybe there was some CG.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
like stitching scenes together and stuff.
Maybe, I don't know, but. Even if that was the case, some of those takes were super fucking long. I was like, "How are you guys acting so well?"
Just like what was that one with Michael Keaton, Birdman?
Yeah,
man, this has some like serious takes, and the father especially. I gotta applaud his performance,
Stephen Graham.
I could totally like buy into his despair because you know, like even in Britain, even in Korea, you know, our dads from that generation. They're how can I put this? They're all like emotionally constipated.
Yeah.
They're all like raised to not show they're basically educated and raised to not show weakness and vulnerability in front of other people. And I thought that was so sad. And you started off the show about talking about like you're a grown-ass man and you don't want to cry and blah blah blah, but I think that's also the whole like message and the point of the show. We need to learn how to process our emotions, and it's because of that emotional constipation that his son did not exactly also learn how to process those emotions.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there though.
Okay.
Because that was everything was I agreed until you said the last thing.
Okay.
Like, cause like I think the show intentionally puts a question mark. You know, because when they're in the bedroom, remember, is it our fault? Like, but like, here's another thing. Like, let's say the kid is evil, for the sake of argument. I'm not saying he is. You see this all the time. Like, good parenting doesn't always lead to like.
That's true.
You know, like for example, you know that famous murder case where rich family, serial killer son. You know, so I felt like the show was also intentionally ambiguous about that.
And I think it was also a great idea to put the daughter on the show as well, because the sister, we get like brief like moments with her, but we can tell that she's very sympathetic. And I could also see that she was very mature, and also she knew how to handle her emotions, I think.
No, but I want to counter that because from my experience, girls and women grow up faster than men because they get their puberty faster. And so
boys stay immature.
Yeah, no, because remember, once you're around like elementary school, late elementary school, the girls are taller.
That's right.
And then the men becomes that way. But here's another big difference between boys and girls. Boys can commit violence when they become teenagers. They become strong enough to. A lot of them actually
like do actual like damage and hurt people.
I mean, I'm not villainizing boys. I'm just stating facts here. So I mean, there's a reason why in jail most of the inmates are guys. So I thought it was also a discussion over that because, because we see Graham's character go through ups and downs. He get emotionally maybe explosive, but that doesn't mean your son becomes a killer. Like, you know, they're and yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No, and I just like, just after I was like, oh, third episode done. and then the fourth episode, they go to the bedroom and they had to have that talk about, is it our fault? Is it our fault? Like, how many parents do you think have watched that and said, like
I'm better than them?
I don't know. No, I was trying to say, I've had that conversation. Because, you know, let's say the kid didn't do murder. Maybe he done theft or did drug dealing. But I bet some parents will still have that conversation over whether I was a good parent or not.
I mean, I know that when he said, like, is it our fault? I was thinking to myself, it kind of is. It's because he was not at home and spent enough time with his kids. Because we see in the fourth episode how, like, jovial and functional the family could be when they actually spend time together. Because we see that in the van with the mother and the daughter and the father. But we know that because his business was taking off, that he did not have enough time to spend with his family. He had to leave home at, what was it, like 6 a.m. and then he came back at 8. And he did not know what was going on with his son's life. And the mother, she confesses that she saw the light being like shown under the door at 1 a.m. But she didn't really have like the proper conversations that she maybe should have had with the son about like what he's into these days.
Well,
what
there's
are
no right and wrong here,
concerns.
but I'm gonna respectfully disagree because, like, you know, you could argue that the father was trying to make a better life for the family.
But I got to admit that, I mean, he talks about his own father. He was a better father than his father. I could definitely tell. And I understand his frustration, which is why the show was so tragic.
Oh, okay, guys, there's no right and wrong answer here. We're just having a discussion. And I happen to disagree with Wanjin on this one.
But if somebody asks me, like, could he have done better? I would say, like, maybe.
No, but I think the question becomes, like, you know, like, how much can a parent do, though? Like, you know how in Korea we have the tiger moms? Like, sometimes you got to give the kids space, too.
Yeah.
And then, like, how do you decide what is the appropriate time to intervene and when to leave them be?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a very difficult question to answer.
And it's not like, I mean, we know that, like, parents don't get, like, formal education on something like that. They all need to figure it out on their own. And every kid, like, receives things differently.
And, you know, speaking of Stephen Graham character's father, we lived in a blessed age, man. Because my grandmothers, they all saw their kids die and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, and they had 7. So, I mean, if we put it that way, this is an evolution, though. Because we are, like, okay, this is kind of a dark joke.
Oh, Void Apparent, what's up?
Oh, what's up, Void? Void in the building. We missed you. Big shout out to Scott Walker, Lee Chanhong, and Void for joining the chat.
Yeah.
And Zezzy, we can't wait for you to join us as well. Cause, like, you know, I'm reading a lot of medieval history.
Yeah.
Man, some kids were up for enslavement automatically. There wasn't no discussion over feelings.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, no problem, Void.
Oh, good, Void. Big love. So I'm just saying, like, if you put it in the grandfather generation shoe, this is an upgrade, though. Because, listen, we have a Netflix show, 4-hour show, discussing a 13-year-old's, predicament, his feelings, his families. Like, imagine playing this a century ago, and no one's watching this. Like, beat the kid up!
That kid needs some rod and belt.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, so, I mean... I don't know.
We got to be fair to the grandfather as well. I bet, you know, Stephen Graham's character's father, he was also probably better than his father.
Yeah. I mean, the belt was the automatic educationer.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe his grandfather was also beaten by something even worse than a belt.
And, one thing we can, like, Andrew's Tate name get dropped.
And, okay.
And
because
we intentionally avoided speaking about that person a lot because we don't want our channel to be about that kind of left-right politics and stuff. But like, there are I feel like we have to be careful on what we talk about online. Like, It's
And also what we listen to and like what kind of videos we watch online as well. The father also mentions in the show that he was looking for some like information about gyms, and then that video fucking popped up.
Oh, so Wonjin, I had a radical thought watching this. I don't think it's plausible. I want your opinion. I think only you should be allowed to buy smartphones once you become an adult. What do you think?
That's a great idea. You know, Australia has that social media ban for kids under like 16 or something. I'm not sure how they're going to enforce that because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of loopholes.
Okay, I don't think
But I think that's like overall the direction. I think it's a great idea because I think it's basically like depriving kids of like basic sympathy that they need to function in society. We saw like how kids behave in not just this show but other shows that involve like social media. I mean, kids could say hurtful things. I mean, of course they could because they're kids, they don't know. But when you do that face to face, you can observe the other person's face and you can tell that they're hurt. But when you do that online, you're completely missing that feedback, and eventually it kind of like raises these kids into like non-sympathetic like people. And I think they need to first learn how to interact and learn how to sympathize with other people before they become
empathy.
Before they become like, I don't know, like suitable to use social media. And I think the story that the family have in the van is also like a great example. Remember, the mother tells the story about the father like embarrassing himself in front of like the whole school during the dance, and they just laugh about it. And he I mean, he did get teased about like breaking his nose and bleeding. I'm bleeding and blah 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 blah. But we could tell, judging from the story, that it was harmless. It was completely harmless. But I don't know. Kids can become so vicious.
No, but that brings up a great topic, though. Like, why are we so afraid of shame? Like, especially coming from a Korean, this country, like, I can't have a conversation, like, without worrying about, like, you know, because it's okay to be laughed at sometimes. You know, like don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess that's hard, but, you know, but here's another problem with that, though. Like, sometimes people go too far, you know, because that father is like harmless episode. If it was a different set of neighborhood, a different set of people, or a different set of people, like they could have mocked him harshly more, you know. Oh, what's up, Lee Channel? That's more of a logical contradiction rather than a loop.
Yes, indeed, I agree.
Yeah, like what the fuck was I talking about?
You were talking about like not being afraid of being laughed at.
Yeah, I mean, so like this goes back to education. Like, you know, because this is also a commentary about education.
Yeah.
Like, because today in 21st century, you know, we learn from two places, right? The system, the school system, and parents, right? Like, what are they supposed to teach kids? Like, what kind of things are they supposed to teach? Because coming from a Korean one, you're like, actually, we have no say in this because we live the failure system.
That's right.
We're have one much?
Like fascist.
Like, I mean, like, when I watched it, I also thought, like, this should be played in Korea, you know? Like,
you don't have an A+, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Fuck you, you soft. You soft, son.
And even worse, like in our days, like the school could beat us.
Oh yeah. No, but
like corporal punishment.
No, but do we really want to talk about that? Because I got beat up a lot, but I don't think it worked, man. Because you know, problem with corporal punishment is, like, for me. Let me tell you a personal story. There was one time I did the homework around 5th grade, okay, and the teacher hit me, okay. But you know what I learned? Man, I don't need to do homework. All I need to...
I can just get, like...
Get hit by, like, 5...
Yeah, that's to stand this short, like, moment of pain.
Yeah, 5 seconds of pain. So that fucked me up. So, like, yeah, I mean, and even later when they brought up baseball bats and shit in high school, that didn't scare me at all because I knew it was just going to be over. So, like, in that way, I don't think it works. Void. Oh, what's up? I think anyone that does what the kid did is just mentally not all there. Okay. Hence, any cultural push against that type of behavior is unlikely to dissuade them. Yeah, I mean, Void. I mean, we before you joined, we did talk about that. Whether the kid is inherently that way, or whether cultural influence or the system brought that out, or. But we live in human rights day, right? We can't just. We can't do Minority Report.
That's right.
So, but back to the show, they did such a great job of leaving all of that as like a question mark, while being very satisfying as a drama. Also, with a lot of great like bone-hitting social commentary, where it's kind of like The Wire, where it's not really. It's not taking a moral high stance at all. Yeah. It's just letting you show.
It just takes us there to observe them, which is like very devastating.
Yeah,
to watch.
And the one time they fucking play music, they had to do a drone shot of the place where the girl died.
Yeah, and that's the Sting's Fragile. Yeah, I love
Tears
that
of the Sun.
Oh, Tears from the Stars.
Yeah, Stars. Yeah. But anyway,
and I think another like message I caught from this show. I mean, I'm not sure if they intended it.
Okay.
There are a lot of messages that are very subtly placed throughout the whole show. What I liked most about the show was that even towards the end, there was no discussion and no story about the victim. Where's the story about Katie? And even in the bedroom, like the discussion between the parents. I mean, yes, I know that you're going through this family tragedy, but what do you think the victim's family is going through? But the show is completely missing that part of the story. So I thought maybe that's also like a message, because often when we have these like murder cases throughout history, we know the names of the murderer, but we don't know the victims.
I thought it was intentional because. For me, I had a different take. I felt like Katie's death was all over the place. But the reason why they put the spot on the parents of the perpetrator is they also rarely get a spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Because you know how it's all about the victim's family and the victim. But the show, you could argue that the perpetrator's family and loved ones are also victims. Because they are also negatively impacted by it. And they have a more difficult place because... like, is my son is a crime? Do I stop loving him? So I thought it was intentional. Because remember, if we look at like documentaries of crime documentaries, it's always about the victim's family. So I'm not because the woman cop says that. Remember in the second episode?
Yeah.
I hated that like the perpetrator becomes a star, but I thought the show intentionally did what it did. Because I mean. They're also victims because when I got really angry when the kid threw paint at the car. The van.
Oh yeah, the one who's tagged the van.
Yeah. So listen, I have a question though. Like, so are they allowed to do that to the parents of the murderer though? Is that right? I don't think that's right. They didn't kill Katie. Their son did. But so it's more of a commentary about the blaming part too.
Yeah.
Like, because in Korea, I hear this comment all the time. Like, let's say there's a crime, then everybody starts blaming the parents right away.
Yeah, because they automatically associate the parents' role in the crime as well, and basically they're branded in society.
No, but I thought the show was intentionally pushing that question mark. I'm not saying there's not piece of shit parents, okay? Like alcoholics who like. Sometimes here's the thing about criminal family documentary. When you look at the documentary, you're like, of course he's become a criminal. Like the father is a drunk, the mother never comes plays.
Yeah.
Like, but this was the rare case where this seemed like a regular family to me.
And that reminds me of like the first episode where the father he voices his concerns and his opposition against strip searching his son. Because at that moment I was kind of guessing that maybe he's so against strip searching his boy because maybe he has scars from like domestic abuse or something. Yeah, but it turned out he never touched his son.
No, and the perpetrator family, I think they did a, I believe in redemption. So the father did put a flower on, and remember the kid pled guilty.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, so he ate it. Like, once you plead guilty.
I think especially after that last session with the psychiatrist.
Okay, then you could argue that he had no choice because he kind of confessed there.
Yeah.
But I thought, anyway.
Oh, no, not just the confession, but I think he kind of understood what he did.
Okay.
After like the psychiatrist asked him, like, do you understand what death is? And maybe it eventually hit him, it's like what he had done.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to lack of time versus short of time? What do you mean? Did I say something wrong, Young? I'm sorry. But anyway, I thought that was all a question mark. But that was a good catch, because I did think about that too. But I just felt like the show was intentionally doing that. I mean, Katie is, of course, because she's the only one that gets the music and the shout. Because remember, we don't even see the kid at the end. Because he doesn't matter anymore. You're going to spend decades in jail.
I didn't mean it in an essentialist sense, but more like a personality disorder, psychosis. I think society is massively misdiagnosing actual psychological dysfunction as crime. Okay.
I mean, Void, if you bring that up, that's a huge problem in Korea too. Like
people need help.
Yeah, but that I think that also has to do with like our failure of communication. You know how Wonjin, I notice a lot these days when I meet people, like it's hard to communicate. Especially, we're gonna talk about it during Let's Talk, but in Korea we had this huge political bombshell of a martial law declaration, and like it's so hard to convince people or try to communicate like how I really feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's becoming ironically more difficult.
Yeah, and they're just so entrenched in their own in their own opinion and ideologies. It's almost impossible to persuade
but
them.
we have to remember this one, Jitu. Maybe we are also guilty of that too. You know, we
Good
have
point.
to like, you know, stop doing this and doing this. And I thought this show was about doing this. It's kind of looking at me like, okay, you cried enough, bitch? yeah. Think about this, man. I was like, fuck you. I don't need this much reality, son. I got problems. But anyway, let's praise some of the favorite actors too, though. Your favorite is the father.
Was the father? Yeah, my favorite actor was the father. He did such a great job.
Yeah, you know, my second favorite was the cop, the black cop.
Bascom.
Yeah, Bascom. I thought he played Quiet Fury really well, and his scenes with his son was amazing.
Yeah,
that's how really like father and son talk. Yeah, Dad. You're like, what's up? Yeah, Dad. What's up? Yeah, Dad. What's up? Like nothing is actually being communicated. You know that like man to man talk is a myth. There's no talk with dad and son. You know, I found his acting really great. And I mean, listen, everybody was great. The kid was great too. I think the kid is actually 13. Like, how do you play that?
You know, I actually like that Ryan kid more than Jamie.
Really?
The Ryan kid who like runs away from the cop. Because I could just sense that this kid is trouble.
Yeah.
Like the way he looked, his eyes and everything. I like that actor.
Oh, you're trying to, I mean, things like how the show dealt with this kind of issue or how it didn't address the victims at all. Was it simply a lack of time or were they pressed for time from the... No, I think... You're trying to... So, like... Wonjin mentioned that, and he was.
I think it's intentional.
Yeah, I think it's intentional, and because I think this is a perfect 4 hours. Like it was so stuffed.
I like that it was just 4 episodes.
Yeah, and taking a different like POV every time, and because another thing I have to mention is, you know, in the 3rd episode, the creepy guy.
Yeah,
like.
I was thinking that he's like exactly what Jamie was to Katie. You know how he was being creepy. He was trying to like hit on the psychiatrist lady, and she didn't even like recognize him. Yeah, he was completely dismissed. And I was thinking, oh my God, that's Jamie and Katie.
Yeah.
But she doesn't realize it.
No, but I thought that was also a very telling sign because it's not just kids that act that way; it's adults too. But you know. I had very mixed feelings about the guard. On the one hand, I was very, like, I felt bad for him because he didn't like. Was he creepy? Did he cross the line? I don't think he did actually.
He just wanted like a human connection, and he just wanted just like Jamie, he wanted approval. I think that's what he wanted.
No, but I thought there was also a lot of social commentary because he's like, I'm envious of your job. Because I mean, I think it's safe to say the psychiatrist has a better paying job and education than
And
him.
remember, she has the posh accent, so we can tell that she's at least from like a middle class family.
Yeah, but it didn't go too deep. But I thought that was also a very interesting choice. Oh, but so I praised the. Do you guys want us to talk about this forever? Because I feel like we can, but we also have American Primeval.
Yeah, we gotta talk about American Primeval as well.
So, anyway, this was a fantastic show with a lot to talk about. Me and Wajid, we shared some of it. But if you guys want us to talk more about this, we can. Okay, so leave your comments and likes, and we can discuss every issue that came up in this series because this was that kind of series.
Yeah.
But let's give a number grade now, man.
I would give this show an 8.
8?
8 out of 10.
I thought you'd give me more though. Really?
It's just the general impression I got.
Okay.
Yeah. 8.
No, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I thought because I'm gonna give it a 9. It was near perfect for me. Like, yeah. So Void, Wonjin gives it an 8. I give it a 9. What do you guys think? Because I thought it. Man, fuck that teddy bear, man. fuck Stephen Graham crying on the teddy bear. I was like, God damn it. God. What's the opposite of a Hail Mary? Hail Mary. So Jojin movie so awesome gives this an 8.5. This is a very, let's put it in one sentence, very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Very thought-provoking. Wonderful acting all around. But anyway, guys, we're going to take a short break and come back to talk about American Primeval. Okay? Big shout out to Void. Oh, Ichanon gives a 9. Yeah. I'm glad you liked it, Hyung. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a very short break and come back to talk about American Primeval, guys. Okay? This has been Jojin Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Wonjin.
We'll see you in a bit.
Be right back.
Void, this couldn't replace Brightburn for me. Oh, Brightburn. That's the Superman kid movie, right? I saw it a long time ago.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Anyway, we'll be right back. Pew, 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 pew.